Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to another video. Now in today's video, what I wanted to do is just do a bit of a tour around my current setup, what I work with to make my YouTube videos happen. And I guess one of the main reasons I wanted to do this video is to show you guys out there who are perhaps aspiring to get into making YouTube videos that it doesn't all have to be thousands of dollars to make videos look good. So, you know, I reckon except for my MacBook Pro, all of my gear probably costs under $1,000. So I thought I'd go around and show you what I use, and I can put the links to stuff in the description below if you'd like. And yeah, let's just start from left and then we'll move over to my main desk as we get to the end. So firstly, starting down here, we've got this IKEA wall shelf actually, and it was about 15, 20 bucks. I got it a year or two ago, and yeah, I've put it on 4 legs, basically so it can stand upright. And I used to have this on my desk, and I would put my monitors on the shelf, and I'd have that keyboard underneath it. But now I've gone for a bit of a more minimalistic look on my desk, so I've migrated it over here, and I keep most of my daily gear on there. So first of all, you can see here I've got my 50mm plastic fantastic Canon lens, and this is just great because it's a prime lens, and so you get a lot of light into the image, which is great for filming you know, without lights, which I do a lot of the time, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a second. So that's a great lens. That's about $130 give or take on Amazon, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. I'm using the Canon T3i or 650D, I think, or maybe 600D, and it's actually the KISS X5 EOS version that I got from Japan. This was about $500, the camera that you're currently watching through the lens of, and it's using just the kit lens at the moment, just because so I can zoom in and out, but that is the lens cap there. To the right of that, you'll see a bunch of different cases, which I'm doing a video for at the moment. And to the right of that, I bought this little cheap Chinese little case for my lapel microphone, which is also what I'm using at the moment, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. Again, quite cheap, about 40 bucks on Amazon, and I'll put the description to that below. To the right of that, you'll see this is something that I've been working on for the last little while, and you would have seen a couple of shots being used with it, but it's still very much a work in progress. This is a DIY camera slider. So you can see I've got 8 skateboard wheels, and yeah, basically the camera goes on that little plate there, and then you can adjust it and you can run it along things like this wall shelf, and yeah, so on and so forth. Underneath, you can see here, if that lights up properly, hang on. Yeah, so this is basically it's a salt and pepper, like a cutting board, I think. It's a glass cutting board, and I actually use it for the videos that you've seen where I've shown you how to do things on your phone. That's what I mount my the car phone holder on, which then my phone goes on. So it's just handy to have like a glass surface where the phone stays really nice and still throughout the video. And then there's my Canon camera bag next to that. In the corner here, I have my tool bag, which I use probably daily at the moment, basically mainly on that thing, but yeah, that's my tool bag. Underneath, I've got more rigid camera bag, which is if I'm traveling overseas or something like that, I'll put my gear inside of that bag. And basically that was about $40 from this store called Bunnings here in Australia, and it's basically like a hardware store. It was really cheap, and yeah, it came with cutout foam. You could just pull it out and whatnot. If I open it up here, not too sure if you can tell in there, it's got a hard drive and stuff in there at the moment. And below that is my wife's blue box of school stuff. Now, if we move over here, it is a bookshelf. Nothing too fancy there. The only thing I really want to point out here is this cool looking camera, which is, I don't really know what the brand is, but it's called I think it's an AKA Ret. I got it as a gift for my 21st a few years ago. I just really like the look of it, and you might have noticed it in 1 or 2 videos in the background just because I really love the look of it. Moving to the right here is a guitar case, followed by a really cheap Yamaha keyboard, and I just jam on that once or twice a week. Little pedal there. Over here is again another cheap old Samsung TV, and basically when I'm filming my shots facing this way of me, I usually plug my camera into that so that I can kind of get focus and make sure I'm in the frame and things are all happening smoothly. Underneath that is a Epson printer. So nothing fancy there, just a bit of storage. And behind here is a power board which I've screwed onto the cupboard. The set of drawers, and that just basically keeps things reasonably neat rather than having it on the ground. So one of the things, that I take pride in is my neatness, and I like to keep things neat. So moving along here this is my baby. This is a Maton, if we just zoom up here, a Maton EBG 808 Artist. This is a beautiful sounding guitar. This is recently purchased, like about 6 months ago, maybe a bit less, and I really love that thing, playing on that. It's got a smaller body, so if you're interested in that, I can put the link below. Now to the right of that, here is the tripod that I'm currently using. Let me just jump down an ISO here. So this is a really unique tripod that I want to tell you about. This is from probably a lesser known brand called Fancier, and I bought this thing a fair few years ago now, I reckon 3, maybe 4 years ago. And basically the main reason I bought it obviously is because it's got a fluid head, which I number one recommend for aspiring YouTube makers. Having a fluid head that allows you to get those really smooth tracking left to right shots. So definitely check out a tripod with a fluid head. It also, you can extend this. I can't really do that one handed, but you can extend that tripod arm there, and it's got really rigid legs. You can see down the bottom here, these sort of movable feet, which is really nice, and you can take them off as well, and they've got hooks on the bottom. Basically that was quite a cheap tripod. I reckon it was around $200, which is cheap when you're talking fluid head. So it's also got a leveler on there, if you can see, which is great. So I'll put the link to that in the description below. I don't even know if they still sell it, but that was a really good buy for me. It's one that's lasted a fair while. So even if it died now, I'd be happy with the use I've gotten out of it. It's traveled around the world. So that thing's done the job. Here I've got, if you can see with that bright light, I've got an IKEA lamp, which I really like the look of. Up here is just this is just a really cheap canvas print from, I think it was from Kmart here in Australia. So I can put the link if you're really interested in that in the description below. But that's what that is. I just wanted some sort of prettiness above my computer, and this is the main event, I guess, of this video. If we jump down here quickly, they are the MH310 headphones, and these were about $80-$90, and they've been great for me. And as you can see, I'm hanging it on, what is this? This is a toilet roll holder that I got from IKEA, and I used that idea, I got it off the internet. Seriously guys, if you're looking to kind of set up a new office, just look on Google for ideas. Anyway, this is my MacBook Pro 13-inch Retina, and the reason I used to have a 15-inch, and I decided to go, that died on me, so I decided to go with a 13-inch spec'd out MacBook, because you can save a bit of money going a bit lower, and I knew that I'd be using it with an external monitor, so I decided to go a bit smaller and spec it out. So that is spec'd out, and I can see if I can put the link to at least the model that I'm using in the description below. But I have been considering for a little while now upgrading to a desktop Mac, so who knows, and we'll hopefully that'll happen in the next year or 2 or 3, who knows. This is a genuine Apple Mac keyboard which I've been using. This is a generic cheapo mouse that I got off eBay. You can find them everywhere. It's pretty good, and I just like that it's USB wireless, so that connects into my little USB hub back here, and it just does the trick. Now this thing is kind of probably where I'm most embarrassed about. It's a really old HP, I think it's W1907, there it is there. This is a 19-inch or even 17-inch external monitor, and that is one thing that I'm looking to upgrade, but I'm kind of holding off to see if I go the desktop route. But basically I've had that thing, I found it on the side of a road, mint condition, and I thought, you know what, save me from having to buy an external monitor. So that's why I'm using that, and I have been looking around to buy myself an external monitor, but time is of the essence, and so I just haven't gone around to it yet. So that's what I'm using there. I can put the link to that in the description. You'll see here my speakers that I use are Logitech, and they're like a good 5, 6, 7 years old. There is the sub below. I say there's a really good chance that they don't sell that anymore, but that is what I'm using for speakers purposes. And again, another thing that I need to upgrade. Below that, now this is something, I got a gift voucher for JB Hi-Fi, so I thought I'd buy a proper audio interface. This is an M audio interface. And yeah, basically I can just plug 2 channels in. They can be XLR or, you know, guitar jacks. And then I've got my phone's control and monitor and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's what I'm using. Down here you can see I've got this little, again, this is another little cheap phone dock that I got from eBay. And basically, yeah, you can, behind here, there's a little charger port as well. So yeah, you can have your phone set up, and often I use that to put my phone in the shot if I'm going to be holding it in the shot, and I put it in, focus up, jump in, get rid of the dock, and that's how I film those videos. And here is my main audio interface, which is the Zoom H4n. Now this is, yeah, a good couple of $100 that I bought, yeah, again, like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's done the massive trick for me. This thing's been a beast. It's been, you know, overseas again with me, and yeah, it's just got this little windsock on top of it at the moment. But this thing I will record, as you can see right now, I've got a lapel going into that, which I mentioned before. But when I'm doing my voiceovers, so not to screen, if I'm not on screen, then I'll do my voiceovers directly into that mic, because it's very clear, it's very good sound, and I really like this thing. But yeah, this thing's been great. You can get cheaper or even more expensive versions of this recorder, so I can put that link, put that in the description below. But yeah, guys, that is it for my setup. And again, like I said, most of this stuff, except for the MacBook Pro, is under $1,000, I reckon, all up, maybe just over. So as you can see, you don't need a bunch of gear, you know, over that $1,000 mark to make your videos good. You just got to get a bit creative. You got to, you know, do your research, and yeah, you will come across gear that is, you know, good for what you want to do. So guys, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Happy to answer, happy to help you out and give you recommendations on gear that'll help you save money, that'll help you get going with making videos. But until then, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.